If you have no backyard or green space to grow your own food, no worries, you can still raise fresh, nutritious, homegrown vegetables just about anywhere, as long as you can find yourself some sturdy, simple containers. That's what we'll talk about today, container gardening. So let's start with the reason why should you consider container gardening or the benefits of doing so. For me, the biggest benefit is that containers and pots are portable. They can be placed on any level surface, decks, balconies, along driveways, sidewalks. You can even set them on bare ground and allow the plant roots to grow down into the soil or place them on top of mulched area. With pots and containers, you can definitely utilize some of those unused areas of your space. Like you can see over here, this is the entrance to my backyard, and it's a really narrow place that has a cement flooring, and I can't grow in ground, so I decided to put some pots and plant my tomatoes in them, and they are growing happily in here. Depending on where you place your pots and containers, you can grow a certain varieties of fruits and veggies. If the place receives 6 to 8 hours of direct sun, you can grow warm season crops like tomatoes, peppers, eggplants, squash. And if only 3 to 5 hours of direct sun, then you can grow cool season crops. Another benefit of container gardening is that you can mix and match vegetables with flowers to make them look good in the front of your house or even in the backyard. As you can see here, I am growing an eggplant together with pansy flowers. You can even use the vertical space you have with some containers. Like this one over here, I have an AC unit over there in the back, and I wanted something to hide it, so I decided to plant some herbs and flowers in this container tower, and I really like how it turned out. I have some bachelor buttons ready to flower soon. These container towers are great because they take a very little of the floor space, but there's so much you can grow in them. This is another container tower I have. I like that these pots are stackable and you can put as many as you want on top of each other. I like growing herbs in them. This one I have with a lot of different basil varieties, and this other one has all kinds of different herbs like sage, oregano, savory, rosemary, and others. Another way of taking up the vertical space is using hanging baskets. You can hang them using hook posts just anywhere in the garden. You can also use hanging baskets on your stairs railing. I have been successfully growing some radishes together with my spring flowers. Nobody even noticed that I have radishes growing among my flowers until I actually pulled them out of there. You can even grow fruits in hanging baskets, such as strawberries. And even tomatoes. You can see here I have tomatoes hanging from the pots that they are growing together with some pansies. And here I have an eggplant growing. You just have to make sure to provide enough soil and room for the roots to grow. And another important thing you need to know about containers is that they need to have holes in the bottom for drainage. Some containers are self-watering, which are great, like this one over here. It's not only self-watering but also has wheels, which is great to move around. Containers can get really heavy once you fill them up with soil and plants, so before you set them up for their permanent spot, think twice, because once you fill them up, they'll be heavy to move around. Small containers are better. They are light and you can move them around easily. But one negative aspect is that they dry out faster, so you have to water them more often. Now let's talk about what can be used as containers. So my favorite ones are, of course, wooden barrels. They look good, they are large, so you can grow a lot in it. The only bad side to them is that they don't last long. I think I have these for about 5 years and they started to break apart already, so probably this is their last year. You can even upcycle things you have laying around. I had this wicker basket from thrift store. I was using it as a houseplant basket, and then it started to wear out, so I decided to move it outside and grow some peppers in it. I don't even remember where these came from, but they are perfect for my eggplants. Ceramic and clay pots look great, but you have to be very gentle with them because they break easily. I like growing herbs in little tiny clay pots because I can bring them inside when I'm cooking and just have them on my windowsill. Plants that have to be overwintered indoors also could be grown in pots outside in the summer, because when winter comes you just bring them indoors, like this passion fruit I have over here. It wouldn't be a complete container video if I didn't talk about grow bags. After the self-watering pot with wheels, this is my next favorite container because it's a breathable fabric bag that allows roots to breathe. Especially for potatoes, it's very important. I love growing potatoes in them, also some tomatoes. My tomatoes in grow bags are definitely more bushier than the ones in plastic pots, and I think they're more healthier. And here are my tomatoes and potatoes growing together. Some people say it's not a good idea to plant them near each other because they are from the same family, nightshade family, and they can be prone to the same diseases. But I don't see any issues with it as long as you don't have any pests or diseases. You can grow them next to each other. Did you hear of a tomato plant? Someone there must have loved fries with ketchup and had the brilliant idea to graft the top of a cherry tomato plant and the bottom of a white potato plant at the stem. That's how the tomato was born. And this is my little tiny cute bud on an eggplant. You can even grow cucumbers in containers. I like to use bush varieties because they stay compact. I like to also fill up the empty spaces I have in my garden with some containers. So over here I had some bare patches between my strawberries, and I decided to just stick a container in there, and it's working out good. These are my peppers starting to bloom. I hope I inspired you to start container gardening as well. Thank you for watching. See you next time.